Good morning, YouTube. It's a thin one today. It's the second Monday after the Christmas New Year break, so still in that sort of cannot be bothered sort of lull, which is going on. I did record a video last week, which was I'm not sure if I put it up, to be honest. It's one of those where I didn't get a lot of filming done. I didn't enjoy the job particularly. It was quite a nerve-wracking job where I was doing some cutting back, but in a very narrow alleyway, and these conifer trees were just overhanging other people's property. So it was one of those jobs where I had the chainsaw attachment, I had the ladder as well, and it was one that I really wanted to concentrate on. Pedestrians coming in, tools being left down. Didn't particularly feel comfortable leaving the camera about as well, so I've got a little bit of footage, but I didn't do a lot, so I apologise that I haven't got that video up. But today I'm going to be tackling a large area of brambles, and this is all part of a bigger plan for this customer, where I've been doing a lot of other clearing work as well. It's a customer where I talked about the saws, the tuck-in saw and the silky saw. Pardon me. So this area is continuing to be cleared, and there's going to be fencing that's going to be going along there anyway. I'm a little bit annoyed at myself, to be honest, because I really wanted to use the Oregon mulching blade for the brush cutter for this job. Now I bought one over a year ago. If you look back, one mighty clearance in an extensive garden that I'd done, which was 3 people for 3 days. I bought it on the internet for that job, but Royal Mail didn't deliver it till a few days afterwards, and I've kind of forgot about it, and I've kept on sort of thinking, I've got to attach it, I've got to put it on, and I can't find the damn thing. I've moved home since then. I've emptied a couple of one of my units out, and I've gone through a lot of stuff, but long story short, I'm sure I've still got it somewhere, but where it is I don't know. So anyway, I've got an arsenal of tools with me. It's not the biggest patch of brambles in the world, but it would have been really nice to have used that mulching blade. Right, so here we are. Let's flip the camera around, you can see the beast in question. Again, this is the other side of those conifers I was just talking about, but I have cut these back before. I think I put a video up about that. I was in one of my earlier ones. So this is the patch of brambles. You can see it goes back really deep there. We're looking, I don't know, at least a good 10 foot back there. These are towering above my head, so I'd say these are a good 8 foot tall in places. We've got a couple of trees in here which we're keeping, but basically I've got all of that crud through there to do, and I'll probably take out these under branches on here, release some of this weight. But saying that, that's not looking none too clever anyway, but we'll just tidy all this up and regain all of this space, and then it's going to be fencing in back behind there. So let's have a little run through quickly with what tools I'm going to be using. Those of you who might be awaiting my review on the DeWalt Hedge cutter, it is being put together, but I've got a Hedge which I normally do once a year, which is not as tall as this, but it's a lot better quality Hedge, and it's quite tall as well. So I really want to put the video together of that in action for that before I release it. So I've got the KM94RC combi system, long reach, Husqvarna brush cutter here, the 143R2, or I don't know how they describe it, but whatever. I've got that there. Some Fiscar loppers. My tuck-in saw is in there somewhere, and just a pair of secateurs. So anyway, that's enough chat. Have a brief chat about these types of works. It's difficult sometimes when you're self-employed, and you might get this sort of job come through in the spring, summer months, and you've got that kind of toss-up really between what's right for you financially and what's right for Mother Nature. I personally wouldn't undertake this sort of job in spring, although I'm surrounded by fields here. There are a couple of housing estates nearby, and a lot of them have got domestic cats, and they do come into this garden, these cats, and there's foxes and all sorts out here, so there's a lot of predators, and that leads on to songbirds. And this overgrowth here is absolutely ideal and a beautiful place for these little birds to have refuge, you know, to get away from these predators, to be able to have their nests and to be able to keep safe. Which you might think, well, why take this area away at all? Unfortunately, the area has years. The customer wants to reclaim this area. And as I say, there is plenty of other fields around, so wildlife can recover and take up its home in other areas around here. But I always encourage customers to try and keep in gardens, which are as vast as this, to keep rough areas in an area where it might not be as unsightly on the eye. You know, they're not too worried about it. You know, try and keep some sort of dedicated area to those birds. Try and keep an area that they can keep themselves safe. But as yet, I mean, I'm only about 4 foot into it. I haven't seen any sign of bird life which is taken up in there. They're certainly about, of course they are, but I've not seen any old nests as yet. As I say, it's difficult because financially you'll want to be doing work, and it's the same as hedge cutting when it comes to spring. It's in the UK there isn't a law saying you can't cut hedges domestically over a certain time. There's guidelines, and you have to do within animal welfare, you have to make sure that they're not disturbed, and they're you know, their habitat isn't being destroyed within certain times of year, or any time of year really, but especially when it comes round to the springtime. So it's always a bit of a grey area, but as far as I've always understood it, there isn't a law, but there's guidelines, and there's laws against you know, acts which are going to disrupt animal welfare and animal life, habitat. I've seen people trimming hedges, and again, trimming hedges when birds are nesting, if you're taking off and you're just tidying up, I personally can't see a problem with that, and I'm a big animal lover, I can't see a problem with that, trimming up. But when you start talking about reductions and heavy cutting, I'd leave that for the... I tend to leave those for the dormant months anyway, but this goes back to my winter chat, my winter survival. You can bank those sort of jobs as much as you can. You might have the outlook of, if you don't do the job, somebody else will. Personally, that will come down to your personal morals. I'd much rather turn away a job and keep a habitat, have a little bit less in the bank, than doing something which goes against my moral code, but that's completely up to you. I'm going to turn the camera around. There's a robin there, and I love a robin. You know how I love a robin. Oh, he's gone. No, he's not. He's still there. Hang on. Not fashion, it's eye protection. Oh god, that looks ridiculous. Right, there we have it. Let's flip the camera around and have a little chat. So there we go. I've I can't do this bit because I've not got my bolt cutters. I wasn't expecting to have to be cutting wire fence. Of course, you couldn't see any of this before. So when I come back next week, so as I say, it's a regular customer, I'll cut the fence off all across there and then drag all that out, and that's at that point I'll clear that back up there. Worked my way along. You can see the fence line. Whoa, there we are on that one. There's a lovely bit of barbed wire around here as well. But yeah, the fence line runs all the way along there. So I've got a little bit more cutting back to do on there, but it's pretty much getting there, and I've got all that to do. I'll do that with the pole saw when I go through there, but I'm going to have a bonfire because I've got one pile there, got some stumps there, got some trees that I took out a while back, a little bit over there, and then this lovely lot from where I've been clearing all back here, which I spoke about before, because I reclaimed all of that area back behind there and all the way back through and again over those sides. So yeah, I'd say there's over a day's worth of bonfire there to have, which is always nice. But no, that's for today. Me and my wife, or my wife and I, shall I say, every time we hear an ambulance, we say, boy or girl. It's a little bit of positive thinking. So yeah, I'm going to end the video there. I'll say thank you very much for watching. Those of you that are new to the channel, I'll say welcome. I apologise about the crazy hair. I do have problems with the sound sometimes. I'm still figuring out the YouTube with microphones and cameras and all that sort of thing, so I apologise if the sound goes a bit funny at times. I try my best, but you never know. If I get to a decent amount of subscribers, I'll invest in some proper sound gear. But no, I'll say welcome to all my new subscribers. Hope you enjoyed the channel. Don't be strangers. If there's anything you want me to cover, any sort of works that you find of interest, any questions or anything that you think I might be able to help with, make yourself known. Global audience from a little UK gardener. But YouTube thing, it's beautiful. It's lovely being able to share not only work and experiences, thoughts and impressions from all over the world with everybody who's got differing opinions and diversities. I like to think that there's no stupid questions, just stupid answers. But anyway, once again, thank you very much, and if you don't already, please do like, subscribe. Oh, and to my resident disliker, I'm sure you'll give me that thumbs down in no time. I don't care. Thank you very much.